Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone for joining me here today. I am, first of all, very proud to be here with advocates for working people, for working families, for progressive values, for Prince George's County future, and for all who are gathered here this morning at one of my favorite homes, the home of the Amalgamated Transit Union. I appreciate the remarks that you will hear from our state hero, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, from Delegate Nicole Williams, Delegate Karen Tolles, from our labor leaders, from educators to the ATU, and from one of my constituents, Mrs. Joyce Moyer Williams, who will share her own story. And I appreciate that the clerk of the court, Mahasan El Amin, is here as well. This election is about the people who live right here. The workers who are trying to make a go of it in an uncertain economy, the families who are struggling to make ends meet. We should be here to talk about our plans to help working families in the face of skyrocketing costs at the gas station and the grocery store and the drugstore. We should be here talking about rising crime and gun violence in our communities and a pandemic that hit our county the hardest and the longest, from which we are still recovering. But instead, we're here to fight back against $200,000 a day in negative attack ads from Glenn Ivey's Super PAC. Glenn Ivey's Super PAC. You see, my opponent knows he's losing, and now he's desperate. He called in the corporate special interests that are fueled by AIPAC to lie about me and about my record. He told them right on his website that the only way he could win is with false negative attacks. And they were more than happy to do his dirty work for him. Look, the hits I'm taking are nothing like the hits that working families of this county are taking every single day. Because this race is not about me or about my opponent. It's not even about his big money, dark money backers. It's about the families who are counting on my seniority and experience to get back to Congress and to focus on what matters for them. I'll deliver for this county the same way that I did before. I used my seniority on the Science Committee to create 1,000 jobs at Goddard Space Flight Center right here in the district. And there's so much more we can do. I got Maryland into the after-school suppers program that now feeds thousands of students every day. I funded HBCUs like Bowie State University at record levels, and I helped hundreds of Prince George's County students find their way to college every single year that I served. And yes, my office also delivered for thousands and thousands of constituents. We helped families stay in their homes during the housing crash. We helped seniors get Social Security benefits. We helped veterans get the services from the VA that they earned. And we helped entrepreneurs who needed a small business loan to get going. I know how to solve problems for people. And to solve those problems and to hit the ground running for Prince George's County. And one more thing, there hasn't been a woman in Maryland's delegation since 2016, and that was me and Barbara Mikulski. That's 6 years without a woman at the table for our progressive state. We deserve a voice. So my opponent's got his dark money super PAC. I've got grassroots support from all around the county. And you know what? I like those odds. And the thing is that I have to tell you a thing about Black women that many of you know already. When you come for us, we don't run, we double down, and we get the job done. We know how to fight through hardship, how to break barriers, and that's exactly what I'll do with the help of Democrats, of working people all across Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank everyone who's here today. I'm here supporting Congresswoman Donna Edwards because we need a strong progressive voice for Prince George's County to go back to Congress to fight for the things that we need here for Prince George's County. When Congresswoman Edwards was in Congress, she was an effective member of our congressional delegation. That is why Speaker Nancy Pelosi has endorsed her to return back, because she knows how much of a leader she is and the contributions that she made when she was there and that she will continue to make when she goes back onto Capitol Hill. We need someone progressive like Congresswoman Edwards. Congresswoman Edwards was the squad before there was a squad. Okay? She was the beginning of what we call the progressive caucus on Capitol Hill. And we need those. People in my district are struggling day to day to make ends meet. They are trying to figure out how to put food on their table, how to send their kids to college, how to continue to do the things that they once did as interest rates are increasing, as inflation is increasing, as the price of groceries are increasing. That is the thing that we should be focusing on today. Dark money has no place in Prince George's County politics. And we need to focus on the working people of this county. And that is why I am supporting Congresswoman Donna Edwards to return back to Congress to do the things and finish the work that she started. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Cheryl Bose, the president for the Maryland State Education Association, representing 76,000 educators across the state of Maryland. And I'm a 4th and 5th grade teacher out of Baltimore County. And we're proud to support Congresswoman Edwards for her reelection. As a teacher, I value good students and good leaders. And throughout her time in Congress, Congresswoman Edwards earned an A for her work in Congress, the actual work that she did, votes that she took, committee work, and her partnership with the National Education Association. She cares about our students, and she cares about everyone in the state of Maryland, specifically in this district. When I would be a part of lobbying in Congress to talk to our elected officials, both in Annapolis and Congress, but I would hear mostly from people from other states, and they would say their Congress representatives were not open to hearing from them. Their doors were closed. It was hard to get an appointment. And I felt very fortunate because that was not the case with Congresswoman Edwards. Her door was always open. We could meet with her when we had an issue. She made her staff available, and she came in between committee meetings and important votes because she was doing the job of a congresswoman. But she also put that work into the district. She often went to schools to hear firsthand from educators, families, and students what was happening in the schools in the district. It was through these visits that she heard about the need for students and food, the food insecurities, not only breakfast and lunch, but dinner. And you heard her say that her experiences there helped her to introduce and get past the Maryland After School Supper Program, which has now provided millions of meals for students in need. Our students need to have their bellies full so their brains can work and they can be open to learning. And she helped to do that by securing meals. Her visits to Head Start programs helped her advocate for expanding Head Start and investing in early childhood education and universal pre-K. I know as a 4th grade teacher, the foundation that our students get in preschool and in kindergarten is critical to their continued success. And Congresswoman Edwards saw that and helped to expand Head Start. Not only am I proud that she will be a woman representing us after so many years, but she is a workhorse for her constituents, including educators and students. We're lucky to have her fighting in Congress and anxious to get her reelected. So I am proud on behalf of not only our educators across the state, but especially our educators here in Prince George's County and in Montgomery County to fight to make sure Congresswoman Edwards returns to Congress. We can do this, and we must do this. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Joyce Moyer Williams, a resident of Prince George's County for over 50 years. And I would like to give thanks to this humble servant of our district, Congresswoman Donna Edwards. She's committed to service. She's unselfish. And let me share, may I, my story with you as to what happened. Congresswoman Edwards was very instrumental in keeping the constituents of our district here in Prince George's County informed. She would send us monthly or bi-monthly newsletters to state and let us know what she was doing to help our people here in this county. So I feel you, madam, and I know. I retired in 2011 with 20 years of service here in the county. So at that time, when caring for my husband, I had a medical condition that caused me to have some side effects. My primary care physician sent me to a specialist. She says, I don't like what I see going on. I went to my specialist. My specialist called my husband, and he told my husband, pack her bags and take her to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 1 week. I said, what about my kids at school? And he said, don't worry about that. He says, your condition is related because you're so compassionate. You want to take care of everyone else. But now you have to calm down and take care of you to get yourself back. He says, we're going to get you back to your children at school. So he took me out of school that entire year. My husband and I, even though we have saved hard, and the medical conditions that we incurred caused us to have some financial stress. We paid our bills regularly all the time, but then we saw this coming in and that coming in, and we had to call our mortgage company, and we fell behind a couple of months in our mortgage company. This one, Congressman, that was during the foreclosure. If any of you remember, are old enough to remember the major foreclosures that were happening, just not in Maryland, but all over the country, and how Congress passed bills for funds to be allocated to different states to help those who qualified to continue to stay in their homes. Congressman Edwards, in her newsletter that she sent out, had an article in it about how to prevent Prince Georgians from going into foreclosure. So I shared it with my husband. He said, well, her number's here. You think I should call? He said, call and see what's going on. So I called her office. Of course, her administrative assistant answered. I introduced myself and shared what was going on, that we were constituents in Congresswoman Edwards' district, and that we were concerned about keeping our home, and we wanted to prevent it from going into foreclosure. And so the kind young lady, she says, can you hold for a minute, please? And I said, certainly. So she had me holding for about 2, maybe 3 minutes. And then she came back. She says, are you still there? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, thank you for waiting. She says, I have someone that wants to talk to you. That someone was Congresswoman Donna Edwards. She said, hi, Mrs. Williams. My immense assistant shared with me what's going on. She says, this is what I want you and your husband to do. She says, there's an organization here in the county. It's a nonprofit organization. It's called UCAP, United Communities Against Poverty. We have a counselor there that can assist you and your husband and have a consultation with you to help you go through the necessary steps to save your home. I called the number. I asked for the person that Congresswoman Edwards told me to ask for. That person was a retiree from Fannie Mae, 25 years, experience in mortgage industry. She was volunteering her time to help us save our homes here in this county. So my husband and I went there. We talked to her. We brought all the necessary documents she asked us to bring as proof of residence and all that. We got approved for, at that time, there were 2 programs. The HAMP, H-A-M-P, Home Affordable Mortgage Plan, and the HARP, acronyms H-A-R-P, Home Affordable Refinance Plan. The counselor said, I'm going to place you and Mr. Williams in the HAMP program. Lord, this is our angel. The Lord used her to help us as constituents. As a result, our mortgage was reduced by $600 a month under the HAMP program. So I get emotional because everyone who's a homeowner, you save. My husband and I bought our home. I was 25 years old. He was 27. You don't hear these days, too many 25 and 27-year-olds purchasing single-family brick homes. Well, we did. Why? Because we were frugal when we saved, and we were able to survive. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you. We are in a home. Our home's paid for, almost. And it's because of this lady. She was never too busy to talk to the constituents in her district. Most congressional people, they will have their admin people talk to you. This lady cares enough for us to talk to us. And she's come to our community. I'm a resident of the municipality of our local government. She's come to many of our city meetings just to sit in and listen. She breaks time in her schedule. She comes to our organizations that are in the city, our AARP meetings and other things. She's there. When we invite her, she shows up. She's never too busy. And I thank God for you, Congresswoman. You are a blessing. And I know if we elect you back in, you're going to continue to serve us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're going to now hear from Delegate Karen Tolles.
Are y'all ready to send Congresswoman Donna Edwards back to Congress? Yes, we are ready. And let me tell you, first, I am Delegate Karen Tolles, and I can't wait to send Congresswoman Donna Edwards back to where she belongs. The entire district, well, first, welcome to District 25. That's important as well. And the entire team, supports Congresswoman Donna Edwards. And why do we support her? Because she has been doing the work of the people. And let me tell you, we will not be deterred by anyone not trying to send Donna Edwards back. Let me tell you, this stuff that you hear is just BS, okay? It's BS. Let me say, when we elect Congresswoman back, she will be the only woman in the entire delegation from the state, not Prince George's County, from the state of Maryland. We are a state and a county that elect women, but we do not have women in the entire congressional delegation in the state of Maryland. That is why you hear people trying to stop. Only women have these issues when it comes to trying to get elected to office. You don't hear them talking about men saying they have constituent issues. They only talk about women that are mothers, women that are educators, women that are having multiple jobs, but yet want to have the courage to run for office. Well, we will not be deterred. We will send her back. Her voice is needed. We already know the conversations that are being had around Roe versus Wade and other issues as it relates to women's rights. Now, my colleague is here from District 22, Nicole Williams. We're also going to send her back because it's important that you have women at the state level, women at the federal level, having conversations and working collectively together. And I know when Donna Edwards is in the room, she will continue, as she has always done, to work with my colleague and other colleagues on the state level to bring resources back, to fight for issues that are important to Marylanders. Now, before this gig, I had another gig, right? My gig was a former council member in Prince George's County in District 7, where Congresswoman had her constituent office.
in the hearts of the community with the people. So don't let anybody tell you any lies, because for 8 years while I served in the council, her and I worked closely together on issues that impacted the people of the community. Across from schools like Sudan High School, in the office with Planned Parenthood, where she was right there in the heart of the community. So we will not be deterred. She was always available for when I needed her, because they say all politics is local. So you're having a local politician who served locally tell you she did the work of the people. She worked with my office. Even if I had to text her while she was on the floor, she worked with my office and resolved the issues. And she said it. I did text her. We talked all the time, hanging out at her office, because look, I live in Suitland. The office was in Suitland, so I was a little happy because my constituents was pleased. But people from all over Prince George's County came there to come to the office and work with our dynamic Congresswoman. So I'll leave you with this. What is the message? We simply will not be deterred by what anyone has to say about her constituent services, because I served there, I worked there. I worked with her for 8 years, almost the entire time that she was in Congress, to turn around our community and to make our community better. And she will go back. We will have a woman in the delegation for the state of Maryland. Now I'm going to ask this again. Are you all ready to send Congresswoman Donna Edwards back to where she belongs in Congress? Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are going to close with a special message from Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
When Donna Edwards first represented Maryland's 4th Congressional District, and that was for nearly a decade, she was one of the most effective members in Congress. Donna fought hard for Prince George's County, for jobs and investments in her community, to help constituents in need, and to deliver results. As Speaker and then as leader, I knew I could always count on Donna Edwards as a valued member of our leadership team. We face some uphill battles ahead, and we need Donna back in Congress to fight for our progressive values and to deliver for Maryland. And as a Maryland native, I'll be thrilled to see a woman once again as part of the Maryland Congressional Delegation. Thank you.